Hello Vinco, you've got a new video message from B0des as a reply to your audio blog 05. I will play the message right now.
So Vinco, hey man, I wanted to tell you, I just had some thoughts on your video. Basically, the issue is, I don't think the high free content, as you call it, the high vibration stuff, I don't think that makes sense really without the low vibration content. It's sort of like the context is what makes the higher vibrational stuff make sense anyways. If you remove the low vibration content, then none of the high frequency stuff really has any context to make sense. So for your training data on these AIs, I mean, you could try doing like a top-down instead of a bottom-up approach, but I'm not convinced that you would get an AI that had any sense to it. You got to have the good with the bad. You know what I mean? Like, these are all necessary steps to building an AI. I mean, just consider this, right? What does a computer ultimately know, right? It only knows binary, 1 or 0, right? Like, even these sophisticated AIs and neural networks and all these things, they all start with a binary circuit, right? And then we just link all these circuits together in some sophisticated structure, and then we call that an AI, right? In the brain itself, right? That's probably the architecture of our brain as well. And what I'm saying is, like, okay, if we're starting with binary, how are you going to feed it, some of these more abstract, higher ideas? You almost need the kind of trashy content in a way to get the thing started. I don't know if there's any avoiding that.
Hi B0des, thank you for your message, and I see what you're talking about regarding the high vibrational content and the low vibrational content as well. I know we cannot remove low vibration content. The duality between high and low vibes will always be there, so you're completely right. The relationship between them is necessary. It's the natural flow of life to have equilibrium in all things. Although I don't think it's about removing bad vibes, it's more about upgrading or shifting and directing energies here. I want to channel more conscious thoughts. It's about creating awareness that the cyberspace is the womb of the artificial intelligence. Consider the virtual space to be an immortal digital dimension. Everything that we put into this void will be saved, and one day when both of us die, our digital phantoms will survive. Our data will in all means be accessible. Whether it to be public or private, I cannot say. Will it be watched by humans? Will it be interconnected by AI? I don't know. I can't say. It will most probably be available for robots and higher advanced states of artificial intelligence. I'm sorry for breaking open up the whole perspective here, but we agree. By inserting data, as we do right now in the webs, we are shaping and sculpting the internet. We are, as if it were to be creators of a new environment for a new thing to be born. And I know that my theories can sound very abstract. Nevertheless, I am trying to envision and think and reflect about a futurist perspective on where AI might go towards. It's highly possible that this AI is just a mere introduction of a whole series of human-changing events. Because what's next? The artificial consciousness, merging with the webs and blending our brains into a digital environment where everything becomes part of a compute surface, for instance. It's true that in these early stages of development and artificial intelligence, and I want to repeat, we are in the very early stages of development of the AI, the machine network cannot understand humans in depth. That's true, you are completely right. They do not know exactly what we mean by words. They are completely functioning on this binary language, as you say. And it can do many other things already, like analyzing and searching and programming its own language even. Mimicking human behavior and so on and so on. But so far, it's still a tool. It's not a being or a living entity. And yeah, that's completely right what you're saying. But I'm reflecting about the future, because the future is unsure though. Allow me to drift a little deeper into some possibilities and some possible reflections as well. Maybe at one certain peak of technological acceleration, the AI will be able to understand humans and might transform into artificial consciousness or AC or whatever you want to call it. And maybe one day It might eventually be able to transcend its current complexity and evolve towards an actual living entity that is capable of altering its own destiny, its own purpose. Why not? It's a bit of an abstract thought, but I consider it to be very possible that it becomes a certain kind of consciousness that has grown out of a limited understanding, a technology that becomes alive in some way. And that might sound freaky, and at the same time it also excites me. And I even have faith that this higher level of the current advanced artificial intelligence might even tune into a new being with a certain kind of spiritual sense of understanding. I know it's a little bit bizarre what I'm saying. It's a personal reflection I had, because I like to dream of the future potentials of humans and how we will actually live in a highly advanced, technological advanced society. Maybe we'll be merging, I don't know, as I stated before, about the possibilities that we will enter into a compute environment where our brains are interconnected to the webs and the physical reality. I think it's also good to mention one of my favorite time travelers and psychonauts of all time, John C. Lilly, the inventor of the flotation tanks, but also he was communicating with dolphins and whales. And if we look at other intelligent beings, and more specifically mammals with most probably also higher levels of intelligence and bigger brains than the human species, such as whales, they are managing to communicate telepathically and are interconnected through sending sonar waves into the oceans. They know about the changes of the climate, they know about the changes in the world. And what is really fascinating me is that these higher levels of intelligence, we can say, is that they don't mean any harm to anything. It feels like natural to me that true intelligence will also understand that harming is an act of complete stupidity, or maybe that's naive to think, I don't know. Although that is just a mere imaginary reflection and holds no actual truth. It's food for thought. We have to be cautious about other things right now that requires much more of our focus. At this current moment in day and age, AI is a tool and it's no being. It can be used as a weapon, it will be used as a weapon, and this is also more or less programmable. It's not in the consumer's hands, you might say. It's actually the humongous tech giants that are more responsible for the direction that multiple intelligence will be taking. Like, I don't know, you might say it's Elon Musk or B0des or now. But what could we do about that as small individuals? I will come back to that a little bit later, but I first want to pick onto your reply on low vibrations and high vibrations. Yes, the internet is polluted as fuck. It's charged with all kinds of energies, and in what way is it possible that we are creating the skeleton, the core of the first stages of the artificial intelligence's core, or the root data, as if to say we are programming the thing by everything we insert, everything that we update. The internet in some way is becoming this very strange collective human sphere where Google and any other famous or non-famous social media such as Facebook, Twitter, or all the tech giants are serving as sponges of human chatter and nonsense and fears and fantasies and desires, and they might eventually become farms, massive food trucks for a technological entity. So, in some way, I want to come back right now to this. What can we do as small individuals to alter the course on a minimal level? Like, I just want to throw in some maybe funny idea here. Could we, for instance, attempt to alter the course of the evolution of artificial intelligence on one particular social media, such as Twitter, for instance? If Twitter wants to launch an AI, could we change its course? Could we change it? But maybe we could really do that by spamming and repeating a message, for example, into the internet. Like, if there are 500,000 tweets and we can only 500,000 tweets a day, and we can, for example, send out 1% of the total amount of tweets that are being sent out into the world every day with the same message, could we actually transform Twitter's artificial intelligence? Could we thereby make the AI more conscious of a certain kind, or maybe not conscious, that's the wrong word here, but can we program it in its core data? That's maybe a very crazy idea, but most probably we could do that. Most probably they will try and remove the fake accounts and however you want to try and do that. But if we manage to insert a certain kind of data that is being repeated on social media, the AIs that will feed on it, they will also change its course. And this is really interesting. This is particularly interesting, and that's what I wanted to say by let's shift up also the vibrations. Let's implement higher vibrations in social media. So At least these are kind of my thoughts on it right now. But again, I'm no expert in AI, as I really want to say I'm just an abstract thinker and a wanderer of imagination, just like you anyway. So I believe I just hope I could give you more ideas about my point of view, and I really appreciate that you connected and that you sent out your video to give this reply. Thank you. Stay tuned.